the disc. I mean, this would not remove the whole disc material, but would remove some. In that case, the pressure within the disc space reduce, and that can relieve the pressure on the nerves. On the same approach, we can do, or it's not a new technique, but it is already there, like we insert like a radio frequency probe, which generate heat within the disc, and that allow the disc to shrink and also to reduce the volume and pressure, and also relieve the neural tissue compression. There's a new technique also using laser, but these techniques are not 100% successful, and we have to be honest, advising that the success rate is usually 60–70%, and use them as a mainstay of treatment. We do what we call a patient selection, where we feel that, well, okay, the pressure is light and the disc is gentle, because you can tell that you are feeling more comfortable with a particular surgeon rather than other. Always try to get options for your treatment. Do not stick to one option given by one doctor. There's always many options. But obviously these options vary in the success rate, and what we will try usually to give our patient, what we call it informed consent or informed options, like we give him all the options with various success rate, and plan the treatment together. In that case, we reach our goal in a successful way. For treatment, usually you have a success rate of 50–60%, whereas for the same disease, there's much more aggressive solution, but carry a success rate of 95%. So we cannot really tell the patient, well, we just have to really give him the options, and sometimes really guide the patient to see one of your colleagues if he does something which you do not do, just to make sure that the patient gets the best.
So doctor, that was nice talking to you. Thanks a lot for being a part of our program. So that was Dr. Rami Hamid with us. Until we meet next time, this is me, Naina, signing off. Take care.
Offering 3.
Okay, stand by in 3, 2, 1.
It has just gone 10 o'clock, and today we're talking about Rotary Family Health Day.
8,000 people helped in the very first activation in May.
Right.
I think where to from here, more than 68,000.
Absolutely.
Hundreds and thousands.
6 figures. I want to
I had a comfortable position. I can tell.
But it is a tough area, very poor area.
Yeah.
So
look at you. Right.
Are we ready for the meeting?
Yes, we are ready for.
I just think that this is a story of hope, what Marion has done in South Africa.
jwale ke na le ho tswa mohlomong le se ke tshwa mohlomong ke na le lona ha ke tsebe mara he tla mona ke ntse ke tisa ka mehla ke ya tleliniking. mme wa bana mme o ya kula seseke fela ba hlokana ke lona le kulile HIV e le na le tsore ngwana.
So the minister is coming now to talk to the people of South Africa, of Zandspruit, of Johannesburg.
Guests, our development partners, both local and international, our communities who brought us here today from all over areas under the city of Johannesburg. Our new partnership with Rotary provides us with a partner with many branches around the country. This shows the reach and the commitment of Rotary members to the health of our nation. I do hope that we can make this an annual event.
This morning when I got here, I thought, now I wonder what's going to happen today. I tell you, it's been a lot of activity. It's been very stressful, but I like it because people are here and things are happening. Well, I've got 500 registration forms here, but if we can do 1,000, we'll do 1,000. If we have to do 2,000, we'll try to do that.
If they come for their second immunization, we mark the right funky.
It's a kind of a pilot project that we're running. It's the first time we're doing it. That in itself is success.
Normally I would say chief. This is the second one.
The nearest clinic from here is probably about 15 to 20 kilometers away. And they don't have transport, and they can't walk all that way.
Community, we need it. Other people, they are not financially, they are not okay. And then it's good for them because they don't use some taxis and own transport, they just walk.
You save money and then come here. But sometimes we get late, we don't take our kids to the clinic. So I think it's a great thing if you came here.
La di sekolo tse di teng mara bona bo teng bophelo gobaneng ke re bophelo bo teng a ke re ga ntse re phela nna ke bona e ka re ke ntho e teng ka ranto ya ka gobane le bana ba baka ba bangata ba tsamaile mara ba ba mane ke sa ba tsebe gore nana ba jowa keng a ke re ne ke sa letse ke kala o di tseba hante hona tjena ka ngwaneng anti ba ntse ba ntse ke sa tsebe yene menyane ke bula kula haholo nna ke ula haholo ngwaneng a ntse a le 45 months jwale jale ke sebete mme obaneng a e sa le ntho e ke e tsoa e se le ntho e bang ke tla re se ke e tlwaetse bophelo ba ka bo se bo tlwaetse a ke tshobi letho jale ke ruta ba bang gore e se ka ba ntho e tsa jwang ke bophelo go batho ga o sena ena ga ona ena ga e di teng a di teng ke ditse di teng ane ga ona mo o tla ba dira ke go wena o tlameile o go fela ga bophelo bona ke itukise nna a ke tseno
can't believe you're back in South Africa again. It just, time goes by so quickly.
It's like my second home. It was just August that I was here the last time, so this is the third time this year that I've been to South Africa. I can remember my first trip, and I thought, better go to Cape Town and see that too. I'll never be back in Africa. That was, I don't know when that was, but I sure was wrong. And I'm wired for the week, and I'm dying to hear about the
Well, I think just
plans.
as well, because you better have your roller skates on because we're moving. So we've got to squeeze everything in.
Everybody wants to go.
Yes.
So we've got work cut out for us in organizing it.
Fantastic stories that have come through, for example, in the Barberton area.
My name is Sue Paget. I am the Program Director for the Rotary Family Health Days in South Africa.
The local mining house, the Rotary Club and local Department of Health.
You know, the Department of Health is historically very good at providing services in our facilities. But not everybody comes to facilities.
Yeah.
You know, people only come when they're sick, and now we need to get people when they are healthy so that we can teach them how to stay healthy. So you've really taught us how to take services into community.
Dr. Pillay, you know, when we think about all the services that we're providing, obviously the major concern in all of Africa, but in this country, has been HIV and AIDS.
What the Minister and the President would like to see is every South African testing at least once a year. And that's a tall order. So all the help we can get, including our partnership with Rotary, would help us reach this number.
Emotions. Many of them look at a patient and watch a patient dying of a problem that could have...
situation, but it's not uncommon.
We didn't really have a good idea, like, we knew the name of our placement, but we didn't really know, like, what exactly we'd be doing, or how long we'd be working, or where, or the kind of stuff we were expected to know, because you come here. My first day, within 20 minutes of being at the hospital, I was given a needle, told to go take a blood sample. I was like, well, you know I'm not trained to do this. I'm still an undergrad student. They're like, just go.
Like my first day at the hospital, the doctor just said, come over here. And there was a woman in labor. And he said, put on gloves. And I put on gloves. And he said, now grab the head. And I said, okay. And then he just said, now pull. And I delivered the baby. And that was essentially within, 10 minutes? 10 minutes of walking into the hospital on my first day, I delivered the baby. And
I was terrified. But the thing is, I was in a room, there were 2 nurses there, and the doctor was gone. 3 women went into labor at the same time. So the 2 nurses delivered the other 2 women. There's a woman there with no one to help her deliver her baby. So I'm unskilled, but I could support her. When the baby comes out, I can cut and tie the umbilical cord and deliver a placenta. So although I'm not the most skilled person in Canada, I'd never, ever be allowed to do that. But here, when the choice is between like me and no one, there are different standards because there have to be different standards. I'm not saying it's right, but it's better than nothing else.
As a student, you are guided by the curriculum within your university. So if you are a Dalhousie student, you are very aware of what the parameters of your training are, and that doesn't matter if you're working at the Children's Hospital here in Halifax or if you're working at the Children's Wing in Tanzania. You are guided by the same set of parameters. We forget that when we are in another environment.
And I believe that it doesn't have to be medical voyeurism. I think that there's no such intention. I don't think that when it happens and it falls smack in medical voyeurism, that nobody intended it to be that way. It's just taking the opportunity because you didn't expect that you would get this opportunity. You know, you're a second-year student, for example, and you end up in a country like Guyana, and the surgeon is more than willing to take you into the theater, you know, surgery, and they let you in and allow you to start handling things, and so that wouldn't happen here. and you start looking into things, you start taking pictures and so on. These are the reasons why it has to be structured so that the students and the facilitators understand the parameters within which we work. Whenever these things happen, that we can call medical voyeurism, and some people call them cowboy medicine or something like that, it's because we don't work with structured elements. We do not have the parameters established. Well, let me just say that quite unequivocally. There is always benefit to anybody with any kind of health literacy, whether it's in medicine or counseling, lifestyle choices, health promotion, whatever it is. There is benefit to such persons being in various communities, particularly the developing countries where they don't have access to all of the resources that we may have in developed countries. So I want to say that quite clearly, that as a minister from a developing country, I believe there is huge benefits to be derived from students, faculty, experienced healthcare providers from one environment to come and join us.
Oui, je pense que c'est très important. Ils doivent venir parce que un jeune étudiant qui passe toutes ses études en Europe ou bien au Canada ou aux États-Unis, parfois il ne s'imagine pas que quelque part dans le monde, la médecine existe dans de mauvaises conditions. Donc, ils doivent arriver. Un bon médecin, c'est un médecin qui doit s'adapter à toutes les conditions, mauvaises ou bonnes. C'est important qu'ils viennent parce que je suis sûr, un médecin, il n'est pas seulement un médecin d'Europe ou du Canada, c'est un médecin du monde.
Our first responsibility is to the people of the Maritimes, for example, in developing a cadre of competent physicians. But I think the way the world is going, that's not enough, that we need to do a lot more, and we need to have more of a sense of responsibility overseas.
Well, the world is a village now. What happens in Africa would soon, in one way or the other, get into Europe, into America, into Asia, etc. So knowledge that is available in Africa should be shared as well to other countries.
Because if you hear about HIV in sub-Saharan Africa, is different if you are here and the problem and try to help to solve it. So to me, I see that it's very important for other people from outside sub-Saharan Africa to come and try to help.
I think for me, you don't really understand the problems until you see it with your own eyes. You can watch it on TV, you can see pictures in the movies. It's just not the same until you get here.
I mean, at least as a medical student, not as a doctor, it's very little to do with altruism in the present, at least. I'm not saving anyone's life. I don't even know most of the drugs that are being prescribed to these patients, so I would be completely naive if I thought I was making any difference at the moment. But I think by gaining this experience, hopefully down the road I can be better prepared to serve a community like this.
Maybe 1 in 100 people that go on foreign elective will actually do something long-term in a developing country. Sadly, it's not 1 out of 2 or 1 out of 3. But in reality, only very few will go on to do long-term work. And it's only the people that have a permanent position, that spend many years, learn the language, and contribute their lives on a long-term basis that will really make any kind of sustainable impact.
Most of what medical students are able to accomplish is short-term. Academic and life requirements make it impractical to stay more than a few weeks or months at a time. Yet the goal of global health, or really any development initiative, is sustainability. depends on long-term initiatives. So what kind of global health experiences for students can serve this goal?
Ones that are cooperative, ones that involve partnership and collaboration, and in the truest sense of the word, and not just, those token words to make something sound good, where you've got true interaction between both sides, where there's that freedom to be able to speak and express opinions, hierarchy, or, donor and recipient kind of relationship that are sustainable. So what's our long-term goal and what's our long-term vision? I think the best partnerships are ones where you can actually see yourself not working there anymore.
Yeah, well, I don't think in terms of filling the gap, I don't think it's a gap that the West can fill. I think the West has an obligation to provide financial resources and knowledge transfer and the other things that will help build a sustainable healthcare system or a sustainable whatever you want to do within the country. And I think that, but ultimately it is up to the individuals.
So I think start off with the question, what can we learn from you? And then we learn from them. And then what can we do for you? Not how can I help you, what can we do for you? What do you need? And you're going to get answers that may not involve you.
But there is also inherently a belief by many of these people that we don't know what we want. I want to say quite clearly that no consultant could tell me what I want. I know what I want. I may not know all the answers of how to do it, but I know what I want.
If there are benefits to overseas global health experiences for medical students, these ethical questions must be addressed so good intentions can lead to the desired outcomes of creating global citizens and ultimately sustainable healthcare systems. Appropriate preparation is key to this process.
It's always the people who say that they don't need pre-departure training who are the ones who actually need it.
A lot of them come with a kind of a pie-in-the-sky idea that they're going to make a big impact in the health of a developing country, which is completely unrealistic. A lot of them are not particularly culturally sensitive, and so they do inflame the local doctors, in fact, with some of the way they act, some of the things they do, some of the things they wear. For instance, we have medical students that come and smoke on the hospital campus, and to us in India, that's a complete shock. I mean, no one would even consider that a medical professional would smoke, but a lot of European medical students do. And so that's a very cross-cultural experience. A lot of women medical students wear very sort of brief things on the ward that are not appropriate for what women would wear in India, which reflects that I think these students are not well prepared for their overseas experience. They come with poor attitudes. They're not humble, and they're not willing to observe what's happening and fit in appropriately, but to keep their own culture despite working in a developing country.
Really, if you wanted to really properly prepare for an elective, you'd probably have to take a couple of years.
Learn as much as you can about the culture and the people before you go. What I see with a lot of programs is that people go, and this is not just students' mission.
Version of culture, because that's an incomplete picture. I would say find somebody from the country that you're going to. Talk to them about what they feel like the issues are.
Can a program really prepare you for living in Africa or South America? No way. No way. Not even close. But can it give you some awareness of what you're going to encounter and prepare you for some of the scary things that you will encounter? Yes, I think it can.
If we are to achieve fair partnerships, there is a significant deficit in our current programs. As much as students from the West are able to travel to developing countries,